Hey guys, welcome to She Knows Arsenal. This is your watch along for Arsenal versus West Ham in the Carabao Cup. Make sure you guys are liking the video and subscribing to the channel. We are about to react to all the team news, and we have some interesting team news. I think a lot of people will probably be surprised at the lineup that they're seeing before them. But when are we not surprised with Mikel Arteta? I think we spoke about whether or not we felt like Arteta and Arsenal should go strong, whether or not this is an important cup or not, things like that. And I think his lineup pretty much tells you what he thinks about this competition with Saliba and Rice and Saka, Martinelli and Odegaard all not starting. I think it pretty much tells you how important he feels like this cup is. Whether you agree with that or not, you guys will let me know in the chat, whether or not you think that this is a strong enough lineup. I will let you know that I think West Ham actually have put out almost their strongest 11. So they're taking this very seriously, and Arsenal are taking it much less seriously. Ramsdale in goal, White at right back, Kivior and Gabriel. We have two left-footed center backs at the back, which is very interesting considering Tomiyasu is available and on the bench, but maybe Arteta feels like he wants to rest him for Newcastle. Tomiyasu has got to start against Newcastle away from home. So the only way that this makes sense to me is if I see Tomiyasu on that team sheet at the weekend, starting from the beginning. Zinchenko at left back, Jorginho, Havertz, and Vieira in midfield. We're going to get to that. And Nelson, Trossard, and Nketiah. Alvarez, Paquetá, and Kudus against Havertz, Vieira, and Jorginho. Oh, yeah. Like, I think Jorginho actually did a really good job against I think Jorginho did a really good job against Brentford. He had Havertz and ESR on either side of him, right? And so I thought that that was okay. But also, I think if we're honest with ourselves, I think it was pretty obvious that Brentford wanted absolutely nothing to do with that game. And when it continued to be 1-0 into the second half, they put more pressure on us and we started to lose the physical battle in midfield. West Ham, based on the lineup that they've put out there, shows me that they're taking this very serious. And so I am worried about, when we're in possession, a double pivot of Zinchenko and Jorginho with Havertz and Vieira in front. I love Vieira, but we know that he's not the most reliable off the ball. Havertz is what Havertz is, and Jorginho, we know what his limitations are. So Arsenal are probably going to be the team with the most possession. Like I would imagine against West Ham, they like to play a counterattacking style. But if they do counterattack against us, not one of those guys are going to help us in transition. Not a single one is going to help us in transition. There's going to be a lot of stress on White, Kivior, and Gabriel to keep us from getting scored on, because we know Zinchenko will be out of position. We know he won't be in the left back spot. And so we pretty much set up our team where the counterattack is so on for West Ham. Like, I'm actually surprised that Arteta's went with this. Now, for people that are asking, where is ESR? ESR has a knee injury, they said. Not great for ESR. Like, if, being injured when you're just kind of gaining a little bit of speed, gaining a little bit of, form. Come on. Emile Smith-Rowe missed out on today's squad due to a knee issue. I thought he played well against Sheffield, and I would have started him today. But a knee issue. We have Gabriel Jesus out to December, Thomas Partey out for 4 to 6 weeks, Emile Smith-Rowe out with a knee issue. We just need somebody reliable right now, For West Ham, they have Fabianski, Soufal, Mavropanos, Ajer, Emerson, Alvarez, Souček, Kudus, Paquetá, Benrahma, and Bowen. That's like their best 11, unless, am I missing somebody? They didn't go with Antonio. I don't know if Antonio is a starter for them, but that, to me, that's like pretty much their best 11. So yeah, I'm a little bit like, okay, not great, but Arteta clearly doesn't care about this competition. So what are you going to do? Let's see. Lucas says take 40 million for ESR and run. Aman says, I'm glad Rice isn't playing, but Zinni and Jorginho together when they have the ball can be a recipe. When they don't have the ball can be a recipe for disaster. We've seen it so many times. We've seen it so many times where that combination on the ball is fine. It's fine, but it's not even that great because I feel like Jorginho and Zinchenko want to do the same things. They want to control the tempo from deep. And so the combination of like Rice plus Zinchenko or Rice plus Jorginho gives you the right balance because you have an off the ball player and then you have an on the ball player. When you have two on ball players that are both pretty shaky when it comes to stopping transitions and defending, you give yourself an unnecessary problem. And I've been very like vocal about this since last season, especially when we played against Sporting, when Arteta thought it was a good idea to play Granit Xhaka and Vieira and Jorginho together with Zinchenko at left back. We just got killed. We just got killed, So, what, I don't know why Arteta continues to do it, but he does. Reggie says, Jess, didn't you want a rotated squad? When we did the show yesterday, I said I wanted us to go a lot stronger. You guys can go back and watch the tape. I said I thought we should have gone a little bit stronger because I don't want us to go out of this competition. This morning, when I said if you want to do a rotated lineup, my caveat to that was that if Jorginho plays, Zinchenko cannot. That was my caveat. Zinchenko in, Jorginho out. Jorginho in, Zinchenko out. So even if you do rotate, that's fine, but you still have to make sure that you're not leaving yourself susceptible to the obvious things that we've already seen before. So rotate at as much as you want to, but Jorginho plus Zinchenko is a recipe for disaster. So I mean, I put my lineups out there. The one that had Jorginho in it did not have Zinchenko in it. So I wanted it rotated. My personal preference would have been to go a little bit stronger because I knew West Ham would go with their strongest 11. This is probably their best opportunity of silverware. So they're going to really go for it. They know Arsenal have Newcastle at the weekend. So they're probably anticipating a weakened squad. They've already lost 3 games in a row. So they don't want to go into the weekend with 4 losses on the bounce. So I'm not surprised that they went with a strong lineup. I would have went with something a little bit stronger than this. But what I wouldn't have went with at all is Zinchenko with Jorginho. It's just, there's nobody there to stop anything. So whatever. Chosen One says, well, if the boys keep it close, then we have the Avengers on the bench. And that's how I'm looking at it. I always think that our players actually, we benefit from starting stronger and then rotating out versus starting off really weak and then trying to save ourselves. I think we've seen in multiple cup competitions since Arteta's been here that when we start off really weak and we have to bring on the likes of Saka and Odegaard and stuff like that, we tend not to be able to get a grip on the game. So yeah, we do have a pretty strong bench there with Tomiyasu, with Saliba, Rice, Saka, Odegaard, and Martinelli. But I think we as a squad do much better when we start strong and then rotate off instead of trying to chase the game. But you can think about it that way. Nuzo says questionable mid. I think we're going to have a stressful day at the office. You just can't do Zinchenko and Jorginho together. It's just, not against this level of opposition away from home. It's just, maybe Arteta's definitely saying like, I don't care about this competition, but like, this is a very good opportunity at a trophy. I'm not saying it's going to be like a massacre, but, off the ball when they hit us on transition, because we're going to have a lot of the ball. I think when you look at our lineup and you look at the way that they like to play, when they're asked to have more possession, they struggle. They want to be without the ball and hit you on the counter. And so they have pretty much set themselves up where they're probably going to smash the middle. They're going to try to take the ball off of Vieira, take the ball off of Havertz, Jorginho, and Zinchenko, and then hit Bowen on the counter, and then we're going to be dead. So I'm okay with a rotated lineup. You guys were here. If you guys were here, you guys know I wanted it to be a little bit stronger, but never Jorginho and Zinchenko in the same lineup together. Amira says, ESR started only a second game in months, but we're expecting a smooth return. Should I bring up Martinelli's knee injury again? He could be on the bench against Newcastle. No need for overreactions. Sure. he needs to show that he has reliable fitness. Like, I'm not saying that it should be just smooth sailing, but a knee issue is not a good thing. Keenan said 2 years ago that ESR was injury prone. It doesn't fit the system and need to sell for 40 million. I just wish we had somebody at Arsenal with this foresight. Lucas says, I need one more athletic midfielder. Can't see Zinni, Georgie, Fabio together. Clem Diggity says, I have faith in the squad. That's 11, a starting 11 that are all good players. And I'm not saying that these are not good players. I'm looking at the players individually, and I think that they're a very good group of players. Like, I'm not actually worried about, Ramsdale, White, Kivior, Gabriel. I think two left-footed center backs is a little bit like, but you got to do with what you got to do with, right? My concern is not the quality of the players that we have out there. It's the combination of them and how they leave us susceptible to the obvious things. Like, it's very obvious, I think, at this point, not to put Zinchenko and Jorginho together. I think it's very obvious. So, yeah, especially against a team that wants to hit you on the counter and are pretty damn good at it. So, yeah, it's not about the individual quality of the team. I think it's fine. I just don't like Jorginho and Zinchenko together. Let's talk about up front. I'm okay with this. Resting Saka, probably a player that needs a day off. Trossard, quality player, no problem. What I kind of wanted to see, though, is like if Trossard was in there, I wanted to see ESR because ESR can overlap. I think the problem that you have with Trossard on the same side with Zinchenko is that if Zinchenko is not instructed to overlap, you tend to see two players that want to come central and nothing really out wide to drag players out. So you have a lot of centrality there. But whatever, like, we've set ourselves up for the way that we're going to set ourselves up. Nketiah, if you expected him not to start, where you been? Of course he's going to start today. He scored a hat trick and Arteta loves him. And Nelson, I think, is probably the cup guy, the Carabao Cup guy. So that's fine for him. He needs minutes. It's not that big of a deal. Up top is not really my concern. It's more the midfield and how it's set up and how it's going to affect the players up front. Mostly on the left-hand side. Zinchenko, Vieira, maybe not Vieira. Vieira actually might be on the other side. I actually think it'd be a better idea for Vieira to be on the right and Havertz to be on the left. But Arteta played Havertz on the right last game. So I think that makes the difference. I think you want Havertz on the same side with Trossard and Vieira, not Trossard and Zinchenko, not the other way around. But don't really, like, the lineup just is like, really? Just in terms of the composition of it and the relationships, but whatever. A cow says Arteta is so poor with his selection at times and it is consumed by favoritism. I don't know what about this says favoritism. I don't know if I don't really see a favoritism here. I just see a lack of, like, these things don't work. Lucas says we talk about resting, but all our striker options for Newcastle start tonight. Do we need to rest Nketiah? Do y'all feel like we need to rest Nketiah for the Newcastle game? I don't think so. He didn't play against against Sevilla. So he's had games where he hasn't really played recently. So I don't know if Nketiah is the player that you need to be looking to rest. You're saying Trossard, but Martinelli and Saka are more important than Trossard and Reece Nelson. So does Nketiah need rest? Probably not. Is it more important to make sure Saka and Martinelli are rested for Newcastle? Absolutely. So for me, it's not so much about the strikers needing rest. Nketiah is going to play almost every single game from now until December. So it is what it is. Omar says Vieira plays better on the left, and I think that's why Mikel plays Kai on the right against Sheffield. Maybe that's the case. I just feel like you have three players that want to do very similar things in Vieira, Trossard, and Zinchenko on the left. There's not going to be any width. Everybody's going to want to come inside. So, there's no overlap or anything like that. Vieira, hopefully he's being instructed to overlap to create space central. Otherwise, we're going to struggle a little bit in that regard. Nuances of Fate says Vieira in Odegaard role, I think that's where he plays well. So there's a difference of opinion there. Some people think Vieira is better on the right. Some people think he's better on the left. I think he's fine on both sides. It's just about who he's playing with. and what the combinations are on each side. I think when's the last time Vieira and Trossard played together? Probably against Everton. You guys will correct me. And they were okay. They were okay on that side together once Martinelli came off. And I think Zinchenko started that game. So it's not like the end of the world. It's just like it's a cup game. So we know that the temperature is going to be different. It's going to be away from home. We know West Ham definitely want to make a statement. They put out their strongest 11. So, we'll see how it goes. I just wanted to see Arteta abandon Jorginho plus Zinchenko. I wanted it abandoned. Like, I want it gone. I want it not an option anymore. Tawanda says Arteta signed Havertz, so let Mikel play him in games he feels fit. Boy says the midfield isn't going to work, but it's not my recruitment. Rob Bob says not so much about Eddie or Trossard needing a rest, more that what happens if one of them gets injured before Newcastle. Like that's kind of where you're at now. Like, so you're like, okay, well, I want to cocoon Eddie or Trossard and not play either one of them. So who is going to play central then? Is it going to be Havertz? Okay, so I don't know. I feel like Arteta made, from a goal scoring perspective, our center forward is less important than our wingers. They just are. Our wingers are like, our center forward is less important. So if Nketiah has to play or Trossard needs to play, like if Trossard needs to play in order for Martinelli to be ready to go against Newcastle, for me, that's more important than keeping Trossard fresh. You know what I mean? Because our wingers are so much more important than our center forward. We could have nobody up there at center forward, and Saka and Martinelli will still figure out ways to score goals and get assists and things like that. They basically create and score goals on their own. So, especially when Eddie plays. So, again, I don't really see the center forward as a position where we need to be worried about resting people. I think it definitely is at our wings, especially when we have Martinelli coming back off an injury and Saka as well. So for me, it's still just like throw Havertz up there, because Saka and Martinelli need to be fit. That's how I kind of feel about it. Tawanda says Vieira is definitely better on the left. Keenan says Vieira, Jorginho, Havertz are going to struggle to retain possession with James Ward-Prowse and Alvarez sitting in a double pivot. I don't think James Ward-Prowse is out there. I think they went with Paquetá and Kudus. If it's still the same thing, like it's still a much better they have a much better off the ball group than we do. It's Alvarez and Souček and Kudus and Paquetá. So what are they playing? So Soufal, Mavropanos, Ajer, and Emerson, Alvarez, Souček, Kudus. So Paquetá is up front, or Kudus might be up front, one of those. But it's Alvarez and Souček. Still, your point remains that it's a better off the ball group than we have, but it's the bed that we chose to lie in. So I don't get it. Like I don't understand it. I don't really understand it, and I never really will. You got to have some. I get Arteta wanting to protect Declan Rice, so let's talk about that for a second, because I have seen some West Ham accounts basically hoping that their players hurt Declan Rice today. I'm not sure 100% that that's what the players would want to do, but I do think that they are going to want to make a statement. It's like, you left us to go do this. Well, let's show you. We know that it's not out of the realm of possibility that they would try to do that. And with Thomas Partey out for a while, if Rice were to get some sort of injury, we'd be in trouble. We really would be in trouble. So I understand wanting to protect Declan, Saka, and Martinelli, especially in a competition that's probably the least of our concerns. It just leaves us with this big gaping hole, which again, goes back to my point that I've been making over the last couple of weeks, is that despite Thomas Partey being such a great player when he's available, when he's not available, he leaves a big hole in the squad. And so we either have to decide to risk Declan Rice or not have him in the team. And then we have like gaps there. So, I know that there's been reports that have come out that say Thomas Partey is not going to be sold in January. Fair enough. But he needs to be fit for the second half of the season, because already, like, he's the whole first part of the season, he's gone. Even if he's fit enough for December, he's going to be gone in January. So we need to figure something out. Here to there says Trossard is superb, but if Arteta actually utilized Martinelli like Klopp does on his wings instead of as a glorified left back, he could get 20 goals. He got 15 goals last season, so I'm not sure what you're talking about. But I mean, I don't know. Maybe Arteta's too pragmatic, whatever, but it's not like Martinelli is not getting opportunities to score. And if you ever watch like Salah and Mane play, yeah, they stayed high, but they also were reliable in terms of their defensive and off the ball work, which really is what made them special, is that they weren't just sitting up there doing nothing. Like they harass people. You know what I mean? So like I don't know if Arteta's system is the reason why Martinelli's not getting 20 goals, especially since he got 15 last season. Like, I don't know. I'm not quite sure what that means. Philip said, watch the first half of West Ham game on the weekend and they were poor. Bowen's touch was well off. Let's hope we can control the match and keep up our good form. Yeah, they've been poor. Dale says, comparing lineups looks like the best case scenario is a draw and winning on penalties. TBG says, team strong enough to win. ESR injured again. Uncomfortable conversations need to be had. Yeah, I mean, like ESR has been fit since last season. So this whole like, oh, well, like it was never going to be smooth sailing. Maybe it wasn't, but let's see. Let's see how long he's out. Whether it's him just coming back or not, like at a certain point, your injuries just kind of like they pile up. Like people would be, I think if Tomiyasu got injured at the beginning of this season, the way that Emil has, the conversation around Tomiyasu would be not, oh my gosh, well, he's coming back off of this injury. It would be get rid. I think the only reason why we don't have those same conversations about Emil is because he's tail end, which I understand. But at a certain point, that just becomes who you are. What that point becomes for you is maybe different than me. But ESR for me is not reliable and hasn't been for a long time. Even when he's been on loans, even when he's, he just hasn't been. So I hope he gets well soon. I hope that it's just like a short-term thing and not a long-term thing because we need him. And it's a shame because he looked so good against Sheffield. I wanted to see more. And he was also really good against Brentford. But hopefully he's ready to go. Carl says, when Pep makes 6 changes to a City squad, do you think the citizens are sitting around second-guessing the manager's decisions? As fans, we need to fully back whoever's in the shirt. I don't think anybody's like not fully backing them. There's a difference between how the fans feel about things and how the players feel about things. Like, I don't think Arsenal's squad is sitting there saying, you know what, we should play Rice today. I think they're going to go out and give it their all. I think that as fans, when lineups come out, we naturally speak about the lineup. So those are two completely separate things. Now, in terms of like fully backing, what does fully backing look like? I have concerns about Zinchenko and Jorginho playing together in a double pivot because I've seen in the past that it hasn't really worked. Does that mean I don't fully back them when they're out there on the pitch? Does it mean I want them to do poorly so that I could be right? Absolutely not. So what we say about the whole fully backing thing, I don't always really understand because I feel like fully backing for some people means don't question anything. And if that's the case, then let me just shut down my YouTube channel altogether because that's a part of YouTube and content creation is asking questions of things that the fans have been speaking about. So of course I fully back Jorginho. I'm one of the people that have been like backing him all season. Like, I didn't want him at the club, but of course I back him. Like, of course I love Zinchenko. I said the other day that I think he's one of Arteta's best signings. So what does fully backing mean? Like, does it mean not asking any questions? What does that mean? Dale says ESR is losing his market value. Value is likely dropping below 20 million. Salvatore says fully backing means back them even if that's not who you want. You want to run our players into the ground. I just, when the game starts and we're doing the watch along, you guys know I'm very much so like I want everybody to do well. That doesn't have anything to do with whether or not I feel like somebody else should have started. I don't really understand what fully backing means unless fully backing means don't ever question the manager ever. Samuel says, I don't think our midfield is ready physically, and I think we're going to get bullied. Keenan says, Xhaka knew how to get Martinelli the support he needed to go direct to the opposition. we are missing a little bit of that Xhaka pass. Like, we used to speak about it a lot because there were people who were like, all he's really doing is that one pass to Martinelli. But that pass was really important. We don't really have anybody. I haven't seen anybody play in that left center mid so far this season and just slip the ball into Martinelli in between the lines in the half space. So that's, we are missing a little bit of that. We're missing some of Xhaka's, um, his passing. So I definitely agree with that. Here to there says Pep is beyond reproach. His CV says he's right in the vast majority of the time. Arteta hasn't earned that yet. Lynn says, I feel like West Ham fans have made enough noise in their own way, both Rice, and so we have weakened our team straight away. I feel that the West Ham fans have made enough noise to get their own way with Rice, and so we have weakened our team straight away. Boy says ESR is just not that highly rated internally by the look of it. I mean, I don't know. He's not even available today. I don't want to be like one of those people that's like, okay, well, Partey's injured, so I'm not going to talk about Jesus' injury, so I'm not going to talk about ESR's injuries. I think as a fan base, we tend to hold a lot of like faith towards players that are never fit, if that makes sense. So over the years, we've seen it. Players that have been unavailable, we tend to be like pining over them, and like when they get fit, they'll be able to do this. When they get fit, they're going to be able to do that, instead of just kind of like accepting who they are, and that they're never going to be available for us. And that's a struggle for me because like I've been an Arsenal fan for like 20 years now. We always pin our hopes on players that are not fit. And so I'm not going to turn a blind eye to ESR and Jesus because I spoke about Thomas Partey, and I believe that like at a certain point that becomes who the player is. Like there's never going to be a season that goes by without Thomas Partey getting an injury that costs us. Jesus is also somebody that struggles with his fitness, so you can't rely upon him. ESR kind of falls in that category for me as well, despite the context around everything. So yeah, Lucas says, interesting to see Newcastle's lineup later. Lynn says, I would like to see Tommy instead of Zinchenko tonight. The only reason why I think it makes sense not to have Tomiyasu out there today is that he's going to start against Newcastle. Otherwise, what are we doing? I need to go all the way out this app and come back in because this is supposed to start at 12 and it is 12 now. So just give me a second. Make sure you guys are liking the video and subscribing to the channel. I really want to get through to the next round. I think this is a really good opportunity to win silverware. And so hopefully we can get the job done. It's all about, I think, also about the boys really feeling like this is a game that they can, despite not having their main guys in, get us over the line. And over the last couple of seasons, they've really struggled to do that. Our rotated squad has struggled to be competitive in games like this, So I'm expecting something, I'm expecting something. Hopefully they can come up with it. Where's our game? Oh, wait. It says 12:20. Maybe it's not. Maybe we don't have the pre-match stuff. Let's see. Maybe Nketiah will score a hat trick. Who knows? That would be great, wouldn't it? Why are you doing this to me? Why do you hate me? Literally? This thing hates me so much. Why is it only showing me Spanish? It says 12 p.m. Isn't that 12 p.m.? It's 12:05. Whatever. It'll come on eventually, won't it? Let's see. Omar says we should focus on a new center forward on Jan instead of CDM. It depends on how you think about things. Sorry, but Tony for 100 million, I think no. Like, let's be for real. No. No chance that we're going to go after Tony for 100 million. They basically, if they're serious, Brentford, then they've completely just said, like, we don't want to sell him. Fair enough. But it depends on how you think about things. If you think our main issue is being clinical, then you'll think that a center forward is going to solve all of our problems. I think we need to sort the midfield out and figure out if internally we can balance the midfield and create more chances. If we create more chances for Eddie/Jesus, then we'll be fine. If we don't, then we're in trouble. So I think the next 2 months are going to be very informative in terms of what we need to go after. Do we need to go after a striker because we're creating enough chances, but Eddie and Jesus are just not clinical? Or do we need to create more chances because Eddie and Jesus are not getting fed enough? I don't think that that's that clear to me right now because we haven't been able to see Thomas Partey in the team. And a lot of people feel like Thomas Partey plus Rice plus Odegaard is going to solve all of our problems. We haven't even been able to see it. So, you know, I think there's some more time that needs to go by before we really this is what it is. At least from the club's perspective, you may already have your mind made up, but I'm open to the idea that it could be either. Because if Thomas Partey doesn't stay fit and we don't see it, that midfield, then maybe we need to bring in a midfielder. But I also don't think Arsenal are going to do that. Arsenal have spent almost 200 million on midfielders in the last 2 windows. They spent almost 40 million on Vieira. They spent 65 million on Havertz, and they spent 100 million on Declan Rice. Some combination of these guys plus Odegaard plus Jorginho plus Thomas Partey kind of needs to be enough, I think. Nuances says we need to 8 more than anything. Chosen One says, Jess, you heard of the young striker from AS Monaco? No, I haven't heard of him. I'm just making sure you're not trying to catch me out. I haven't heard of that striker. We have been linked to Sesko, which I think some of you guys are high on that player. So we have been linked to him. I'd be very okay with that type of project striker once the season is over. That's not somebody that I think we would or can bring in January. So yeah. Emilio says, Edu Hagen says Emil's injury is out for the season. I don't know. Is he? Let's see. Let's see what. I don't believe it. I'm just looking to see. Eduardo Hagen also doesn't get everything right anyway. So even if he did say it, I don't believe him. No offense to him. Yeah, he just said he's out with a knee issue. He doesn't say out for the rest of the season. Guys, stop giving out false information. That's all he said is Emil is injured. He felt something in his knee and started feeling pain after the game. We're assessing him. It's a big worry. And so here's the thing. It's like when you come back from injuries and you get muscle injuries, that's different than a knee situation. If it ends up being the case that knee injuries don't go away very quickly, we know that because we've seen many a knee injury at Arsenal. So that's different than the muscle injuries that you get after coming back from a big timeout. A knee injury is tough to come back from. So I'm wishing him, a speedy recovery, and hopefully it's not the worst case scenario. Hopefully it's not out for the rest of the season. But, are you surprised that somebody that's had continuous issues with fitness out again? Are you surprised that Jesus is out again? Are you surprised that Thomas Partey is out again? Like, at some stage, we need to stop acting like this is like a shock. DJ Polar says, could be cartilage, hopefully nothing to do with ligaments. I hope not. Omar says Sesko or Jimenez would fit great. Seawalder says, have checked that Edu guy. Lucas says, it's a real player. He was good against us at the Emirates. DM says that midfield, we are finished. Seawalder says, I don't see anything about he's out for the season. So yeah, it didn't say he's out for the season. It's a knee issue, but we all know knee issues are not great, so it's not like he's just gonna come straight back, which is a worry. It really is. I'm so disappointed, not at ESR. It's not on him. Shit happens, you get injuries, right? It's unlucky. So I'm not mad at him, right? It's just I'm disappointed that he's not getting the chance to build on such a good kind of like rhythm that he was getting a little bit of minutes after against Bournemouth, a whole half and some change against Brentford, a whole game against Sheffield. He's not really getting a chance to like build off of it, and it's really disappointing because he's a very, very good player, but at some point it just kind of becomes who you are, and that's unfortunate. Um, Keenan says we gotta get an 8 if ESR is out for the season. So Chosen One says I think Sagir has a lot of potential. I don't know who that is. I mean, isn't Balogun there? I don't know. Maybe he does have a lot of potential. DJ Polar says it could be innocuous. People damage their knees by one wrong movement at the wrong time. Wish we knew more. Yeah, I mean, it would be nice to know the extent and like exactly like what's happening. We just only have enough information to read between the lines, and some people will be like, "Well, maybe he's only out for 5 minutes," and some people will say he's out for the season. We don't really know. I don't think he'll be back for Newcastle, but hopefully he has a miraculous recovery. Emilio says, how can Arsenal buy players when they're injured? No money and no one buys Smith Rowe. Yeah, nobody will buy Smith Rowe while he's injured. Only Arsenal buy players when they're injured. No, we're not the only ones. A lot of clubs do that, but they do it for players that I think they feel like it's not like a pattern. It's like a one-time thing or a little thing, Um, so this is interesting that West Ham rank 18th in passes in the opposition half, 15th in passes. Short pass ratio is 16th in the league. Their possession is 17th, and their switches of player first. So that is the making of a very counterattacking heavy side. They don't want possession. They don't want to control the match. They just want to get it and kick it down to Bowen and let Bowen dribble down the pitch and then hit it to somebody and boom, that's what they want, so that's very interesting reading there that they're a counterattacking side. Like that's how they beat Chelsea. Chelsea had all this, possession and they were pretty decent. And then West Ham came down the pitch 3 times and scored. So while being able to keep Chelsea out. So it's going to be a hard game today, I think, because they play the exact type of football that we don't really do that well against in recent times. Like we have all this possession and then they nick it off of us one time. And this is really important, I think, from Ramsdale and Zinchenko and everybody playing at the back is not to encourage them early. Just be safe. Like what Zinchenko did against Chelsea was so stupid. Do not set us off where, you're playing around with it in the box and then we get nicked or anything like that. Just be safe. Zinchenko, don't come central in the first 5 seconds of the game and get nicked and then they come down the pitch. Like, just be a little bit more safe. Be a little bit more like, we don't have to win it in the first 5 seconds, because they're going to be looking to feast off of our mistakes and they're going to try to make us make mistakes. Now, West Ham are not a big pressing team. Like they don't press you, but they will jump on the mistakes that you make. They'll try to win the duels and things like that. So Nuances of Fate says, do you think our insistence on Prem proven players is limiting us? I think, is it limiting us? I think we're paying more than we should. I think if Arteta could get players, could manage players that come in from other leagues and have them adapt a little bit quicker, then we could see the value of bringing in players from other leagues and we do it more. I think Kivior and Vieira have struggled a lot coming into Arsenal in their first year and some change because Arteta struggled to have them adapt. It's kind of like he had them sitting around. It's like almost like he was afraid to use them, where players that come straight from other leagues come straight in, or straight from our league come straight in. So I think we're going to get people from in the league because we don't trust our adaptation process. We don't back ourselves to help players adapt quickly or properly. I think it does hinder you from being able to get like those true gems. I think when you buy from the Premier League, you're always playing a premium and not always for the best player. Like, get instead of getting Kai Havertz, maybe you go get Soboslai. Like Soboslai was from a different league, cost the exact same amount, but would it have killed us? No, but Klopp put him right into the fire. I don't know if Arteta has the balls to put certain players straight in to get them like ready to go. I don't know. I would like to see us get players from other leagues. That's me. Crispy says most of our squad is from outside the league. Most of it is, but I think we're one of the teams that probably buys from the Premier League the most. So just because your team is mostly from outside the league doesn't really mean that you don't buy from the Premier League a lot. Because we tend to really buy from the Premier League. We're one of those teams. So I don't know if most of our players outside the league doesn't matter. How many other teams buy from the Premier League as consistently as we do? Look at our team. Like Jesus, Zinchenko, Ben White, Havertz, like all these players are from the league. Ramsdale also from the league, Raya also from the league. So it's how many other teams do that on a consistent basis? We do it very consistently. Trossard as well. So having most of our players outside the league is not the same as do we buy from other Premier League teams more than everybody else? I think we do. So I would like to see us go for players outside the league sometimes. Like instead of going for Andre Onana, go for Fofana. Do that. Like Onana is going to cost probably 20 million more than Fofana would. Fofana probably has a higher ceiling. They do similar things, but Onana is probably the type of player that we would go for instead of Fofana. That's just kind of where I am, like, in terms of that. Like, I would like to see us do it a little bit more. Premier League proven, it works in some respect, but what I don't like is us ridding our rivals of the mistakes that they've made. So for me, buying, although I like him, and I also like Havertz, by the way, like as players, like and people, I like them. I don't have like any like agenda against either one of them. I actually like them quite a bit. Both of those players are players that I feel like Chelsea should have been cuffed to, and I think we rid them of their problems where we would never be saved from our problems. So that's where my issue becomes like buying from Brighton, buying from West Ham, whatever. I forgot about Declan Rice, but buying those players is different to me than buying from Chelsea or buying from Man United or some shit like that. I'd like us to stop doing that shit. Omar says, let's do the Onana, Zubamendi, Tchouameni talks. What are these talks? I want Zubamendi, so there's no talking for me. We're never getting Tchouameni out of Madrid. And Onana, if you're talking about Andre Onana, that's a good player. But again, you can go get Fofana for probably cheaper with a higher ceiling. So that's what I go for. McChronicle says, Jess, that midfield is dead. I can't lie. And West Ham is basically playing their A lineup for F's sake. Arteta is doing Arteta things. Let's hope it works. Chosen One says, Jess, do you think it's possible to integrate a player like Javi Simmons into our squad? We have so many players doing the like have a Javi Simmons type of profile in terms of like they could play across the front three, they could play in the attacking mid positions, but we're not quite sure if they necessarily fit because we need a Xhaka on the left. That's the reality is like we have Odegaard, who's not really like a number 10. He plays more like a number 8 for us. Then we have a left center mid position where Arteta is trying to make it into a position where a number 10 can play in, but we all know deep down that we probably need a Xhaka there. So to bring another Javi Simmons in that probably doesn't naturally fit feels a little bit like, I don't know. I feel like we could integrate a Javi Simmons type in. We could. But we already have Vieira and Yasar and Havertz and all these other guys that kind of play in those same positions, but we're not quite sure if they actually fit it. So, of course, I'd love Javi Simmons at Arsenal. Blanket statement, like without thinking really into it. Of course, he's a quality player, but would I prefer, an actual left center mid to come in that solves our problems? Yeah, I would prefer that. Yeah. So Amadou Onana. Got it. I called him Andre Onana. Sorry. I'm sorry. Sorry. I got that one wrong. It's Amadou Onana, not Andre Onana. It's just that's the one we usually are talking about. So, but you guys knew what I meant, right? You guys know the guy from Everton. Boy says if he said the same for Timber, then we can all keep it moving. Otherwise, the prem proven shtick is something he will use to justify suspect signings like Havertz. I mean, you have players like Declan Rice who are going to smash it no matter what. You have Ben White. You have some good examples of Arsenal buying prem proven players and it working out. But that doesn't necessarily mean that we couldn't have went outside of the league and got somebody similar. But I'm okay with bringing in some Premier League proven players. My main issue is ridding our rivals of the problems that they have gotten themselves into, because nobody is going to solve our problems. Nobody is going to buy Havertz from us. If Havertz ends up being somebody that doesn't work out, nobody's going to buy him from us. You know? So that's kind of my issue. Boy says, did he say Timber was already Premier League proven or what? Keenan says, with Zubamendi, what would our 3-man midfield be? Um, I'm saying, like you could do Zubamendi, Rice, and Odegaard. I think that would be the best midfield that you can go with. With when we're in possession, Rice could go a little bit higher, or Zubamendi could go a little bit higher, and they can kind of switch in that way. But when we're out of possession, they go into a double pivot, or Rice goes a little bit deeper, or whatever, and then Martinelli pitches in, or whatever. That's what I'm kind of thinking. But again, I would still want to bring in somebody a little bit more box to box, but I don't think a box to box midfielder would fit us all the time. I think Zubamendi, Rice, and Odegaard would be the main midfield for about 90% of the time, but you have to have different players for different game states. And so I don't disagree with anybody that feels like we need a box to box midfielder, or somebody that's a little bit more of a left center mid, like like a Paquetá or something like that. I don't disagree with that at all. I'm just saying the way that we're playing right now and Arteta wanting to have more control, I think will probably be better off with a player that replaces the things on the ball that we miss from Jorginho and Partey, putting them together with Rice. That's the perfect partnership, kind of like Gabriel and White. Not Gabriel and White, Gabriel and Saliba. They're the perfect combination. They do different things, but they have the perfect combination. I'm more concerned about getting Rice, the perfect player next to him, not just getting a number 8 because we don't have that in the squad. Like, who is most important to Rice? It's probably somebody that's a brain next to him, more of a Jorginho with legs, or Thomas Partey that's fit most of the time. But again, I'm not saying we don't need a box to box, but a box to box like a Fofana or something is not going to play 90% of games for Arsenal next to Declan Rice. He's not, but we still would want somebody like that in the team. Dulane says, why are you guys snubbing Patino? We could recall him and play him. I don't think it's the right thing to recall him. I would say that he should be integrated in next season. I think taking away his opportunity to develop because we've recruited poorly is not the right move. I think Arteta needs to figure out a solution with what he's the situation that he's created. He's created a scenario where he has 4 number 10s and 3 number 6s. And so he needs to figure out some sort of combination of those that work, because I have to believe that somebody as meticulous as Mikel Arteta has done this because he really thought it through and not because he was just has a galaxy brain. So figure that out. Allow Patino to have a second part of the season with no pressure on him, not needed to come in and save us from Mikel Arteta's lunacy. That's not fair on Patino. Allow him to come into the team next season when El Neni and Jorginho, maybe Thomas Partey are gone, and give him a full season with a preseason for us and not throw him into the fire. I don't think it's fair to Patino. And I think I still am wanting to see Arteta have conviction in his ideas from the midfield perspective. What were you trying to do with Vieira and Havertz and ESR and Odegaard plus Partey, Jorginho, and Rice? What were you attempting to do? And can you get something out of it? That makes me feel like you weren't just making shit up on the go, because that's a lot of money to throw away. Just I have to think that somebody as meticulous as Mikel Arteta had a thought process behind it. So that's kind of where I'm at with that. We have about 3 minutes until the game starts. round of 16. Let's go. Let me see. Make sure. Yep, I'm on the right channel, and everything the ESPN people are talking, we don't listen to them. They don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Okay. IFU says, but is Zubamendi willing to join us this time? Let's see. Let's see whether or not, is it just like you? I don't know. I think players say that they want to stay places because that's what you need to say. You don't say I'm ready to go. Whether or not we can convince him. He'll want to leave at some stage. Omar says, let Patino finish the season and prove himself to be a part of the squad next season. Exactly. Philip says, double pivot with 2 defensively strong-minded mids is the only way I can see us beating the top teams in knockout tournaments. Wenger showed us that by never doing it post-Invincibles. Look, Philip, I never said anything I didn't agree with. Chosen One says, it's going to hit different when we're waiting the round of 16 in the UCL. So yeah, guys are about to come out now. Jorginho is leading us out. Obviously, Ramsdale is back in, which is nice to see. I'm going to go ahead and take this down now. This link is going to lead you straight to player ratings, so you don't have to go anywhere. You guys can just stay here and you guys will be on the player rating stream. So it's going to redirect you straight over if you guys are going to come in and out, which is great. But if you're not going to come back, make sure you guys like the video and subscribe to the channel on your way out. But I would love for you guys to join me for player ratings. Let's see. Ooh. I got that rush of nervousness. Let's see. Why don't we ever get a home draw? Have you guys noticed that we never get a home draw? It's so annoying. So you got 2 ex-Arsenal players out there in Lucas Fabianski and Konstantinos Mavropanos, which is interesting. It says that they're lining up in a 4-2-3-1 with Kudus at the 10 and Pakatov the left, Bowen through the middle, and Ben Rama on the right. Let's see if that's actually how they set up, with Alvarez and Souček at the base of midfield. Arsenal are set up with we know who, loads of talent on the bench, loads of talent on the pitch. It's just a matter of all that talent goes together on today. And if we can stop ourselves from kicking ourselves in the mouth. Ramsdale comes in, which is great to see. White, Kivior, Gabriel, and Zinchenko, Havertz, Jorginho, and Vieira. They said Havertz is on the right. Nelson and Kedia and Trossard. So interesting team selection. 2 left-footed center backs. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. Lucas says Newcastle rotate heavily. If Newcastle rotate heavily, then that means that they feel as though they're gonna probably put out a very strong lineup against us. I know that they have some players out though, that like Isak is out, Botman, Barnes is not going to be out there against us either. So it could just be because they don't have the players, but maybe they're looking forward to our game at the weekend, like the big game that it most likely will end up being. Let's see. Whew. Watching Arsenal is rough. No, I did not eat. So I'm going to be talking about that all day, as usual. Yeah, let's see. Dubravka, Livermento, Kraft, Drummett. You're right. They rotated very heavily. No Bruno, no Burns, no Trippier, no Almiron. They really, no Wilson. They are going right into Man United's hands. Man United are going to win this freaking tournament again. That's how jammy they are. The Newcastle have a very bad team out there. Dang it. I think Man United went pretty strong too. So let's see. Delane says, can we get a score prediction before the game? I'm going to go 2-1 Arsenal because that's the safe thing. I think we will concede and we'll score 2 and then we'll batten down the hatches at the end and have to defend for our lives. And that's where Ramsdale will come up like a star, and we're off. Zinchenko, already a short ass pass. Come on, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Do not set us up for failure, my friend. Would love to see a big performance from everyone, but Kai Havertz is somebody that I'm looking at. I need to see like a big performance where I don't have to like do this to really see it. I want to see him actually really, perform where I don't have to rewatch it and pick through it. Um, you know. Sorry, no game clock, you guys. I'm really struggling with that at this time. We're just gonna have to do this for now. I'm on the first minute, a minute 7, a minute 8, a minute 9, a minute 10, a minute 11, minute 12, minute 13, minute 14, minute 15. I am definitely probably behind you guys. I'm always lagged behind for like about 10 seconds. So let's see if we can get out. All right, Ramsdale, first touch the ball. What you going to do? Kick it long. I don't mind being safe in the first couple minutes of the game, to be honest. Like, we don't really need to like set ourselves on fire in the first couple minutes. Like, it's okay to be safe in the first couple minutes. And they kick it out. Let's see if we can get a little bit of possession. It's like watching Arsenal is like every other day, and it's so stressful. That's why I enjoyed the Sheffield game, because they had like no threat, so I didn't have to worry about it. It was just more like, are we gonna score? And then once Eddie scored, I was like, okay, we're good to go. Um, yeah, Zinchenko already pinched really far over. Kind of my fear a little bit in today's game is Zinchenko and Jorginho not getting caught on the ball, because we will be exposed. Okay, Kai Havertz up on the left. What are we doing? Good. Come on, Trusty baby. Let's go. Loose pass from Trossard. Come on, you guys. What are we doing? That's so scary. A lot of left footers out there. Is it more than usual, though? Probably not. Probably not. Vieira, Havertz, Zinchenko, Gabriel, Kivior, all left footed. Win it. Zinchenko just needed to pass it back to White there. Don't be. Zinchenko is too far over for me. It's just, I get it, but it's scaring me. Good. Come on, you guys. Good, Ben. Don't let him turn. Don't let him turn. The Vieira on the right, Havertz on the left, which is kind of what I wanted to see, because you need one decent off the ball player. Okay. Gabriel got cooked there. Paquetá really could just go straight to goal. Good. Bad pass from them. Gabriel, come on, man. Can't be falling on the ground like that. And early cooking, man. Come on. Um, let me see. So yeah, that was like an early cooking. We don't need that. Come on, guys. There you go. I got a timer up there for you guys because you guys were screaming at me. So there you go. Let me do this too. Is that better? Come on. Unlucky. Called a foul? Come on, Reese. That's a good ball from Ben. Reese took him on. Good. And that's just good defending from Mavropanos, both Trossard and Eddie there. But yeah, they called foul on called a foul on Eddie, I think, against Eddie. Samuel says, as a person who does everything on the left, this is unusual. Here to there says, agreed, Jess, with all the new emphasis on controlled, why does Arteta allow Zenny to have a free roll? It just scares me a little bit. Come on, Havertz. Come on, come on, come on. Don't give it up there. Don't give it up there. Just, yes. Yes, just pass it. Just pass it. Let's get rid of it. These little passes that we be doing in the middle be scaring me. Two people said nice Reese at the same time. Amon, nice Reese. Here to there, nice Reese. That was good from Reese. He'll have the beating of a Jared the whole game. Like, West Ham's defenders are not that great. They're big, but they're not that great. So we should have the beating of them in those wide areas, I think. Turn, Jorginho. Come on, Eddie, pass it. Pass it, pass it. Good. Come on. Come on, Zinni, do the right thing. Oh, no. Good, Georgie, now you're out of position. Go back. Good, Havertz. Hey, good, Havertz. Good, Havertz. I like that. I like that. So already, what we were good because we tried to win the ball back, but those passes from Zinchenko, he needs to clean it up, clean it up, clean it up, clean it up, clean it up. Concentrate. I'm not mad at seeing Rice on the bench, actually. Now that you guys are saying it, like, seeing some of the West Ham fans saying, like, oh, I want our players to hurt him. Nah, fam. Nah. You got me fucked up. Oh, Havertz. Have we woken up? Are we awake? That was good. That was good. He almost scored. He almost scored, y'all. Are we awake? Keep it up, Havertz. Let's go. I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that. I need a Havertz awake game, okay? Where I'm like, okay, this is why we bought him. This is why we bought him. Get over there. Reese. Reese. Yes, Reese. Yes, Reese. Get up. Good job, Reese. That's right. That's what Reese gives you. At the very least, he's going to work his ass off. Let's not, these passes, y'all, we need to be careful. Okay, a little scoop pass. Come on now, Ben. We knew that wasn't on. We knew that wasn't on. Arsenal ball. Arsenal ball. Hey! Bastard. Why do we just throw that free kick opportunity away? Or not free kick, that throw in. What are we doing? Vieira, stay on side. Let's see. John says, Kai, come on, you got this, bro. We have to speak it into existence. Kai's coming alive. We need him to come good. It's like not an option for him not to. Yes, Kai. Amon says, not a bad start. Samuel says, just cussing a lot. as her stress goes up. I'll clean it up. I'll clean it up. I'll try. But seriously though, like I never said that I don't like the cussing thing, like it's just who I am. I'm so sorry. Come on, this is what they want to live off of, you guys, is these little dodgy passes. Come on, Vieira. I'm not feeling Zinchenko today. But maybe it's just my anxiety about it already is making me overthink it. That's not a bad ball from Trossard, but it's just not the pass that Vieira was looking for. Like that's a good pass, but nobody was there. So, and I think it's just a little bit in the first couple of minutes is like these guys don't play with each other very often, if that makes sense, so they have to learn where each other is going to be. But I don't think that's a terrible idea from Trossard. It's just not where Vieira wanted the ball. I'm nervous. Good, Kiwi. Good. Come on, Reese. Oh, unlucky, Reese. Unlucky. Keep working hard. Keep working hard. You got this. Come on, Trusty. So far, so okay. Not bad so far. Come on. Remember, Supa's a bum. So, let's see if we can win the ball here. Jared is passing it forward. Can we win the ball? Good. Come on, Gabrielle. Switch on, baby. Switch on. Come on. Off for one game. Ramsdale. Come on, we have to be a little bit better there in possession. Come on. Gabrielle, Ramsdale. Come on. You don't need to be giving them these throw-ins here for no reason. This was so avoidable. Come on. Let's get it out. Good, Ben. Good. Good, Reese. Good, Reese. Someone get up there with Reese. Someone get up there with Reese. Someone get up there with Reese. Go on, Reese. Aw, unlucky Reese. Come on, come on, come on. There was no one really for him to pass it to. That's good hard work, though. John says, Reese is hungry. Ibrahim says, we watched together. Keenan says, also, that back three of Gabrielle, Kiwi, White looks very nice. Keenan says, our midfield possession shape is much better than I expected. Let's see. Yeah, unlucky Reese. Exactly. Reese is trying. It's hard when you run up there and there's three guys on you and there's no one like really that obvious to pass to. So I can't really blame him for that. Like, what else is he supposed to do? But he got us out of that end, which is fine. Come on, Pierre, get your ass over there. Come on. Good. Get over there. Come on. Come on. That was almost an OG. That was almost an OG. Got to be careful. One little ball in behind, a run from Kudus. To be fair, if Gabriel doesn't get that, I think we're in trouble because Kudus is right there. But, you know. Is that an own goal? Own goal, right? Not good from us. One chance, one goal, set piece. Oh, I'm not sure what's going on here, but fuck, that's calamity, actually. That's such calamity. That's so. Is that not avoidable, you guys? Ben is probably too far forward. It's calamity. One chance, one goal. Ben. I don't know what's supposed to be happening there, but it wasn't that. It wasn't that. Oh, Kai, come on, I need you to hit that. All right. It's calamity. Boy says world-class finish from White. Here to there says, of course, a set piece mistake. That's the West Ham way. Matt G says dead cup anyway. Never wanted it. I think Kai should do better there. But at the same time, it was whatever. Ben White. Keenan says, damn, that hurts. White was playing well. Yeah. Oh, here to there says, have to admit, Kai is stepping up today. Yeah, we need him to put the ball in the back of the net, you know? Aman says, we can win this game, man. I mean, they haven't really done much, you know, but they're ahead, you know, so they're ahead because we put the ball in the back of the net for them. Very lucky goal, but you know, it was poorly defended by us, and they won that set piece, that corner, because of that good ball that they put into Kudus. So don't foul. So what happens now is they have something to hold on to. West Ham doesn't really want to be on the ball anyway. So they may sit in a little bit and just try to defend, hit us on the counter. So we have to be really careful. I mean, giving up that goal is just like, come on. Let's see. Aman says we can win this game. Carl says that's Ramsdale's fault. Where was he? Samuel says I hate own goals. Maggie says feel bad for Ramsdale. Yano says Ramsdale is horrendous in that goal. And Aman says Ramsdale, man, what was that? You guys know I'm not going to comment on the Ramsdale thing. It's an own goal. We should do much better. In fact, I think at the back we're a little wonky. So yeah. So we just have to rebound from here. I told you we were going to concede, though. There is no way we're getting out of here with a clean sheet. Come on. Can we turn it up a notch? So far, our best players have been Kai Havertz and Reece Nelson. Haven't seen enough from Vieira yet. Defense has been a little shaky. I need Ben to just shake that off. Like, it happens. It's calamity, but it happens. Shake it off. Everybody at the back, shake it off. We've been fine, but we gave them a goal. So move on. Good, any turn. Hurry. Pass it. So slow. Come on, pass it. Good. Havertz shoot. Oh. Good, Havertz. Come on, Trossi. Oh. I think Havertz needs to hit that first time. Stop second guessing yourself. Just hit it across the goal, you know? Tawanda says, come on, you Gunners. Craig says, Kai has heavy feet. Tulane says, this is his this is his first game in a while. I don't know what you're talking about. Maybe Ramsdale for sure. Jordan Hill says, "Isn't this a knockout tournament or is there another leg?" I think if we go out, like if we don't win today, we're out. So we need to win it or try to. It's a shame because West Ham haven't really done anything, but they're 1-0 up. So Arsenal need to turn it up a notch if they want to get to the next round. Georgie has to get that. Good. That's another foul. Like, they just keep fouling us. Yeah, you fouled, you moron. Come on now. You don't think you fouled? Funny. Players never think they foul, ever. Come on. Good, Kiwi. Second ball. Jorginho. Come on. Ramsdale, where you going, baby? Good. Just kick it long. Eddie, second ball. Come on. You got to win something, honey. You got to win something. Come on. Yeah, we've been all right. Like, the own goal is horrendous, but we've been okay, but we haven't really been able to test them enough. Just the Kai Havertz on the free kick. I would like to see us try to create a chance, like a clear-cut one. It's like we're always on the edges of creating one, but then like the final ball is not good enough or the final touch is a little bit heavy. Maybe that's just not playing with each other very often. I don't know. Hurry! He's right there. Yeah, my anxiety is like through the roof with Zinchenko. Foul, another one. This moron has fouled again. He doesn't think he fouls ever, but he's clipping players like left and right. By the way, Declan Rice barely ever fouls. By the way, they said this guy is like way better. He ain't. He ain't. Alvarez can't lace Declan Rice's boots. Let's be serious. But yeah, let's try to create a chance. Try to score a goal. Let's go. Come on, guys. Nope. So weird seeing Ben make mistakes because it's not like a normal thing, you know? But come on, you guys. Should score. Eddie, come on. Can't just score against can't just score against Sheffield. Come on. I think Eddie has to score there or at least get it on frame. I don't know. Maybe I'm being harsh. Omar says Eddie close. Young Gouda says good bid. Getting closer. Aman says free header man. Cross says Eddie. Heenan says corner, come on. So they have fouled quite a bit, but they're trying to be aggressive. They want to win the ball off of us. Keenan says, damn, Declan warming up. I mean, the thing is, you know, Arteta started with a weaker lineup, and so now we're behind. So we will probably end up seeing some of our better players come on if they can't figure it out from here. And so far, we haven't really been able to create anything. Now, West Ham hasn't really created anything either, but, you know, they're ahead now. So, and I we just kind of always look like this in cups, you know. And I get that's because we rotate, but you know, it we are far removed from the days of just putting the kids out there in the Carabao Cup and they beat up people 6-0. Far removed from those days. Eddie, oh my god. Is Jorginho gonna get over there? Or is he just gonna keep letting him run? Good. Oof. All that and they get a corner? We let Mavropanos run all the way up and get a corner. But that was the danger of the midfield. Remember, I told you that before the game started, is that I just kind of feel like, you know, if they're going to play on the counter, as soon as we lose the ball, they're just going to run straight to the goal because there's not a single person that can stop them on the counter. Talking about Vieira, not Havertz, and not Jorginho, not Zinchenko either. Ramsdale, yeah, finally gets it. Stop pushing and shoving. Come on. Keenan says Jorginho doesn't have the pace to cover like that. Exactly. Like I don't want Rice out there, but at the same time, like, you know, what can you do? Who else are you gonna put out there? I think this is a really good punch from Ramsdale, actually. Alvarez gets the flick. We're in no man's land at the back post. Kivior's ducking. Who else is that over there? Reece Nelson. That's really poor from Kivior. I'm gonna say that. Like, he shouldn't be ducking at the back post like that. That's really good from Ramsdale. You need to be willing to put your head on the line, buddy. Like, this is Arsenal. Like, come on. That's y'all. What are we doing back there? Y'all scaring me. Come on. Kivior poor pass. Come on. That's just poor from us. And like again, when you do those things at the back and you play from the back and then you get caught like that, it gets the fans up. And then, you know, come on, like we're encouraging them by doing that. Like if we're gonna play out from the back, do it crisply. Like that was very like everybody was unsure. From Ramsdale passing it to Zinchenko, Kivior gets it. Kivior gives a really poor pass to Gabriel. Like all of it was very, very poor. That whole sequence there. But yeah, this is definitely the type of game like where we probably are going to need to bring our better players in. Samuel says it's going to be hard to break them down now. Let me see. Oof. It's going to be hard to break them down now. Everyone who's up front. This front got to get their chances. Yeah, I agree. Take your chances. So we don't have a lot going on right now. Again, like we haven't really created anything. We don't look good. I expect us not to look as good as we usually do because no Saka, no Martinelli, but our midfield has got to figure out a way to be more productive and get the ball to our front players. And that's like Jorginho, Zinchenko's influence hasn't been great. And Havertz is trying, Vieira's missing. Our midfield is very shocking. I think a lot of our issues just come from midfield. Omar says this is a Declan game, defo. Lucas says we don't have midfield. We just give the ball to Zinni. I agree. I just haven't seen anything from anyone else really, except for Havertz has tried, but like it can't just be one player. Like, you know, when's the last time Zinni has passed it into that is so poor. Get Zinchenko out and Jorginho. This little pussy passing back and forth, excuse my language, but like I need you guys to pass it quicker. Like grow up. Put your foot through it. Pass it. Like with all your might. Pass it hard. All these like little tiki taka passes. Good. Come on, Reese. Good. We got a corner. Let's see. Reece Nelson has been fine, but he's feeding off of scraps. Like he's feeding off of scraps. Like Zinchenko and Jorginho in midfield are just not doing anything. Like they're not releasing our forwards. Like what are our forwards meant to do? They're not getting any service. It's like, what do you expect them to do? And like you have Eddie up front. So if you're not creating, then and like Vieira's been null and void. Like he's not even out there. So I don't know. Let's see what we do at this corner. Should be a goal. So poor. Head it in the back of the net. You got to be much better. Much, much better than that. Basically a free header, and he lets it like skim off of his forehead. Like, come on. Yeah. Not good. Keenan said, been saying for a while, Nelson has the ability to get near Saka's level with proper game time. Omar says Nelson feels like a new signing. Wanger wink. Yeah, he just, he's feeding off of scraps, but he's making things happen. Like, I would like more of our players to have that sort of like endeavor, but a lot of players need other players around them to help them. And Reece Nelson is different. So let's see what Vieira does here. If he can get a pass off, good. It's foul. Keep playing. Chelsea. And just everything Zinchenko and Jorginho does is just so slow. They slow us down so much. Like any sort of like quickness that we try to have is nullified by how slowly they pass the ball. And Zinchenko all the way on the right is distressing me. What? 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 Oh, they're gonna show the goal again. I don't want to see it again. I want to see what happened with Kai Havertz there. um, you know. Brian says no one to control the midfield and feed the balls to Eddie, Trossard, and Reese. Exactly. Like we have two passing midfielders in there, but neither one of them can find our forward players because when they pass to each other, they pass little 5-yard passes to each other that don't do anything. Like, it's just like they nullify each other. Like every time I watch Zinchenko and Jorginho play together, I think they're both trying to do the same thing and it never works. Come on, Nketiah. Bad pass back by Jorginho. Sets Kivior up for failure. Come on. Good Kai. Get rid of it. God, they want so much time on the ball. Guess what? You don't have it. Just pass it quick. Like, just can we attempt to do anything fast? Jorginho, Zinchenko, is there anything that you guys can do quickly? Please. The two of them don't work. I'll say it until I'm blue in the face. Been saying it since last season. I do not want to see those two in midfield together. I don't like it. These little bullshit passes. Pass. Thank you, Ben. You see how Ben finally passed it forward with some speed? Like, come on. Be for real. Pass it. With speed. Incision. Directness. Pass it like you mean it. Pass it like you mean it. So Kai started off good, but he's losing me because he's so indecisive in the final third. Like that was a ball that you either need to bring down or you need to hit for real for somebody to get on the end of it. And you've done neither. You just kind of let it hit your foot. That's the second indecisive thing that he's kind of done in a couple of minutes. I need you're getting the most play in the final third. Like, I really need you to like make a decision, either cross it or bring it down, make a decision. He didn't make either. He was indecisive. He started off really well. He just needs to grab yourself back into the game, buddy. You're doing really well. Come on. Shoot. I'm not mad at that, Reese. Finally, somebody doing something. Cross it in first time. Why do we always have to dingle around with it so much? Reese should hit Ben White right back there. That is the Saka pass. When Ben White makes that run, you hit it through right then. Fuck you, Zinchenko. Damn you. The fuck. Good. So yeah, that little pass that Saka always does to Ben White, Reese didn't do it. And so we ended up having to recycle, and then Zinchenko tried to do something that like pass it through 50 million players, and it didn't work. Trossard's not fast enough to get that ball. Like, oh, I'm starting to get frustrated. I'm trying not to. Really trying not to. Yeah. Zinchenko, get away! He's just in the way sometimes. Nah. But at the same time, it's like, do we really want Rice to come in? I don't know if I really do. Good ball. Zinchenko hit it first time. Eddie. You have to score. Somebody tell me that was a really difficult opportunity. Someone. I mean, it did. If it should be a corner if Alvarez got anything on it. We didn't get a corner, so it just went off of Eddie. You gotta put that away. We have 7 shots. They have 0. But we're down 1-0. How? We're down 1-0. This is such an Arsenal game. I'm hungry. Come on, you guys. Do we have another gear where we can like go up and start looking like a better team? Like sometimes I just think we're like asleep. Like we're like, it'll happen. Get up. Go, Jorginho! Bitch. Look at the slow ass passing we're doing. Do we think we're gonna unlock any defenses like this? Bad pass from Trossard. Good from Kivior. Can we win it? Can we win it? Oh, no. Here to there says Eddie has had 2 good chances today and put neither on frame. Iman says West Ham have done nothing. I can't believe this. Typical Arsenal game. Mark says wrong foot off balance. No excuse. Could have done better, but he was off balance and stretching. We look static at the moment. No movement off the ball. West Ham are holding a good shape. This will be a struggle. They're very organized, and we're not another gear at the moment. Yeah. Unless we want to move the ball faster and be a little bit more like direct in what we're doing, we're not going to break them down. Like it's just everybody wants to take 50 touches, especially Jorginho and Zinchenko. They have like zero ability to speed up play, and they're both supposed to be tempo controllers. So I don't really understand why they can't speed up the game a little bit, but they both look like they're running with bricks in their shoes. speed up. And then you have Vieira and Trossard kind of playing in these wider positions, and neither one of them have any speed. So basically, you just have Reece Nelson. Eddie needs service. Without service, he's done. And I don't know, Havertz had a good 10 minutes and then faded. So I'm not really sure how we're going to solve it, but that better go out, Zinni. Good. So not sure. Look at all of our players on the bench like, what is this? Becca and Declan Rice like, Saliba, what is this? It's us without you. That's what it is. Akal says Jorginho never moved the ball forward, back sideways passing. It's not helping the attack. Pass. Mo difference between El Neni, Jorginho, replace Jorginho and Vieira, and we win. Young says bench looked a little concerned. Yeah, because they're watching the team without them and it doesn't look good. And their whole game plan, West Ham, is to try to disrupt Jorginho and Zinchenko passing. And it's working because neither one of them can wiggle away from pressure. So, and then we don't, it's like having free kicks back here, like behind the halfway line, is not going to do anything. So their game plan is really working. Oh my God, Trossard, come on, stop fouling. But yeah, their game plan is really working. When Jorginho and Zinchenko get the ball, they just foul them or get aggressive with them, and neither one of them are going to be able to wiggle away from that pressure. Neither one of them command respect the way that like Declan or Thomas Partey would. So they just kind of get right on top of you. So yeah, whatever. Lucas says it's crazy how slow Havertz is with his decisions. I think he's just indecisive. Keenan says Jorginho has been okay. Tommy would be better at left back. Yeah, we might need to bring him in. I need us to go up a level. We're just so slow. Everything is just dead. Relax. Yeah. Zinchenko needs to get his ass back. Like, I don't like where he's at. It's stressing me out. But yeah, I hate to say it, we don't look like scoring. And it's just like a typical cup game where it's like, I just want to see the players that are out there step up and make it so that the better players don't have to come in. But it's another cup game where I feel like our starters are going to have to come in and try to save the day. But I'll be real, I don't think Arteta set up the team right. But maybe I'm just whatever. Let's see what we do here. Trossard to get the ball off of his toe. Playing around with it too much. Everything we do is slow. Pass it one touch, fast. Don't we do rondos? Come on! What are y'all doing? Pass fast. Kivior, get it. We don't need another corner. Good. Yeah. Gabrielle, I'm sorry, but I need you to get your head into the game because that's the second time you got cooked. Can you not try to make a foul, please, and just do what you need to do? Like, that was so obvious flopping. It just agitated me so badly. Come on. He got cooked in like the first couple minutes by Paquetá and then did that shit. Come on. You've only been out for one game. Oh my word. Ah. Yeah. Maybe we'll go in 1-0. Reckland says finally logged on to the game, just seen the goal, and that's why Arteta doesn't fancy Rambo. Young says they aren't even pressuring us at all that well. We just looked beyond rattled. Here to there says we really need these chances falling to Trossard and not Eddie or Kai. Eat, drink, talk football podcast says really thought Arteta wasn't going to start the same 11 against Sheffield. This isn't the same 11. So you have your against Sheffield. Like this is a weaker side. Is that a bad foul from Kai? Let's see what he does here. No, he gets the ball. Kai got the ball. Get up. Fuck you. But we had our first choice wingers against Sheffield. We actually played a stronger team against Sheffield than we did against West Ham. I thought we'd go a little bit stronger, but Arteta, we can't go this week. It just never works. Our squad players, I don't know if it's just because they're not set up properly, but this kind of feels like when we put Charlie Patino and Sambi in a double pivot against Forest and they beat us down. There's just certain things you just cannot do. And Zinchenko, Jorginho don't work. The lack of athleticism in this team today against West Ham is just so funny. Don't foul. Can we try not to foul? Only Reese can run with the ball and get us out of pressure. Halftime. I feel bad for Ben, but it's, I don't know, shit. Reckland says, let me stop this real quick before I start talking. Pause it. Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know really what to say about that half. I wish I was really surprised by it, but I'm not. We just kind of do this every single time with these lineups, the balance is not there. And I think West Ham didn't have to do anything. West Ham really didn't have to do anything. Obviously we score for them, but I'm less concerned about how we gave the goal away. I'm more concerned about our inability to create any clear-cut chances. And I'm watching the highlights back, but beyond the chance that Kai Havertz had, we did nothing and from an attacking sense. And we did better against Brentford. We did much better against Brentford creating chances. Now, I think Brentford were a lot less interested in the game, but I just am having a very difficult time. Yeah, Ramsdale's shirt was being pulled, but that doesn't really stop Ben White from kicking into the back of his own net or heading it into the back of his own net. So we had 68% possession. West Ham had 32. We had 8 shots. They had 0. We had 1 on goal. We had 243 passes. They had 94, and we had 0.48 expected goals. So again, it's not like West Ham really did anything, but what they did really well is stepping onto Zinchenko and Jorginho, stopping our progression. Neither one of them can step past the defense. And when they had chances or opportunities to pass, they chose to pass very short 5-yard passes to each other, which is very annoying. And so, yeah, I'm not quite sure what if Arteta actually thought this was going to work, but I wish I could say I'm surprised, but I'm not. This is kind of how we look in cups. Dennis says at some point we have to realize that our wingers are being told to not take on fullbacks. I hate how no one wants to be brave against fullbacks in this team. Yeah, I mean, I guess for me, it's when did the wingers have the ball? I don't think Reece Nelson and Trossard had the ball that much. I think the ball kind of was at Zinchenko and Jorginho's feet a lot, and they couldn't figure out a way to get it to our attackers. And I don't know. Trossard doesn't really go past his man like that all the time. Like, he's more of a combination player. But who is he meant to combine with? Who is Trossard meant to combine with? Like, I thought ESR being out there, if he had been able to play, would have been nice because ESR can overlap and then Trossard can come central and move players around. But nobody moves anybody around because we like to play with everything kind of like in front of us. We don't ever make runs beyond the ball. Like, we're very, we want to be stagnant. I don't know. Mark Neighbor says West Ham are comfortable, very easy for them. They are an organized team from front to back, and they need to move that ball much faster to open up the pitch and their lines. Exactly. I don't really see anybody moving. They're not moving, the players, but I think they're also afraid to lose the ball. So when you don't have that insurance policy back there, I do think you're afraid to lose it. I'm looking at our, Trossard, Havertz, and Kedia doesn't connect with anybody. He doesn't combine with anybody. Zinchenko is playing on the right wing. So when Trossard gets the ball, who is he meant to connect with? I don't know where Havertz is. He's like in the box waiting for an opportunity. So who is Trossard meant to connect with? I bet you Vieira and Nelson passed to each other a handful of times. I didn't see any connection between the two of them. There's just nothing between these players, and they play the ball way too slow. I don't know what to really expect. I don't know what anybody expected beyond kind of like a sleepy game like this. Ben says, I'd like to see Havertz moved up front for Eddie, bring Odegaard on. Ivy says, I hate when my boy Trossard is used in a lineup like this. It doesn't make him flourish. And, everybody will say this is why he needs to be on the bench. He's not good enough to play for Arsenal, or he's not good enough to start. But I'm sorry, if you don't give Trossard anybody to play next to, he's a combination player. What is he meant to do? What is he meant to do? Who is he meant to connect with? He can't pass to Eddie. Zinchenko is on the right wing. Havertz is in the box waiting for a cross. So Trossard's just there up against the touchline. Who is he meant to pass to? Our players are too afraid to combine and pass and move. I don't know if it's because like Arteta's like Zinchenko and Jorginho need to stay here and everybody else just kind of like stay in their positions, but there's no movement or anything. And so it's making it really difficult. Now from a defensive standpoint, again, like West Ham didn't really have to do anything. They didn't really do anything. I did think we looked shaky playing the ball out from the back. We did look shaky playing the ball out from the back. We almost got caught a couple of times. So I don't know. I really, I don't know. It's such a difficult one. Oh, that's a really good shot. Liverpool up. Of course they are. They're playing against Bournemouth. I bet you they're having a good time. Let's see. It's a shot from outside the box, ricochet. So yeah, 1-0 Liverpool. Away to Bournemouth. Chelsea versus Blackburn. Chelsea should be up like 4 or 5-0. Yeah. Jackson scores. Badiashile. So they're definitely playing the easier of the teams. So whatever. Saksham says Havertz is doing good off the ball work, but on the ball he's just useless. He just doesn't really seem he just doesn't really seem to know what to do with the ball. It comes to him and he doesn't, it seems like he's in mid decision when he gets it. Like that one pass that went to him, I know it was a difficult one, but you were like, oh, it's a difficult one. But I do think like a confident player either brings it down or hits it across the box so that somebody can get to it. Like I think we let him off of the hook a lot. Like, oh, well, it was a difficult one to control. Like a confident player either brings that down or smashes it across the goal so that somebody can run onto it. He's very that was an interesting goal. He seems very tentative. Saksham says he's afraid to lose possession. I think a lot of our players are afraid to lose possession. The attacking players don't seem to be willing to take risks probably because they don't see Declan Rice behind them or, Saliba behind them. So they're kind of like, well, if I lose the ball, we'll be under attack. And maybe Arteta's like, they're going to play on the counter, so be careful. But if you're not willing to take any risk, you're not going to score any goals. The way that we're playing now, we're never going to score a goal. Young says, I haven't seen Kai carry the ball ever in an Arsenal shirt. Dale says, we miss Kivior at left center back. with West Ham bogging down the midfield. Kivior would get Trossard the ball further down the pitch. There's not really much going on. We just have to hope that we play much better in the second half. But usually when we start like this, we continue, and then we have to hope that the other players come on and save us. Like, it's so hard. Like, this team I don't know if it's that they don't have the confidence. I don't know what it is, but when we play in these cups, we just don't have any energy. Ooh, Exeter and is this Middlesbrough? This looks like a good game. So, Dennis says the annoying thing is West Ham have done nothing to deserve the goal or the lead. Zacham says, will you sell Jesus next season? Probably not. DJ Polar says Eddie needs to watch that goal for Exeter City. Mark Neighbor says I would make changes at halftime, but I do not think he will. We still have to think about Newcastle at the weekend, double-edged sword. We're definitely trying to conserve our better players for Newcastle. So that's true, but he needs to coach this team into playing a little bit better. Like this Young is saying, like, energy is the word. We look so flat. When do we not look flat in cup games? Can anybody name me a time under Mikel Arteta, recent times, where we rotate and the team looks energized and ready to go? This has been one of my bigger pet peeves, is especially in domestic cups, we look like we couldn't be asked to be in it. I don't know if the lineup makes them feel like it's not important, so they don't feel like they need to give it 110%. I'm not saying that they're walking around, but I never see our team look energized and ready to fight in a cup competition. It looks like we want to do as little as possible to get it over the line, but as little as possible is not going to be enough. We're not even we've tried to do this against Forest and these types of teams. Like, it's definitely not going to work against West Ham. So you're going to have to, if you want to get to the next round, you're going to have to risk the weekend a little bit to get over. If Arteta's unwilling to risk anything to get to the next round, then we're just going to continue to go out of cup competitions, because I feel like you have to risk just a little bit. You would have had to have played a stronger lineup. You would have had to make sure that you didn't play Zinchenko and Jorginho together. So I think I don't think he'll risk it until, like, if West Ham score a second goal, we won't risk anything at all. We'll just go out of the competition. But if it's 1-0 and it's like the 70th minute, I think you'll see players come on. But I don't think Arteta is willing to risk the Premier League or the Newcastle game to get us to the next round of the Carabao Cup. So yeah, but he needs to get these guys up. Clancy's saying PSV, Sevilla, and Brentford. Okay, so take PSV and Sevilla out because those are Champions League. I'm talking about Europa League, Carabao Cup, and the FA Cup, when we've heavily rotated. Against Sevilla and PSV, do we not play our best 11? So again, we're talking about specific games when we've rotated in domestic cups in the Europa League. Have we looked good? No, we haven't. So Sevilla and PSV don't count. We played our best 11s in those games. Kasim says people are saying Arsenal look flat. Bullshit analysis. Final passes not executed properly, but the buildup from the squad is better than other Arsenal teams. I'm not watching the same game as you. I don't think maybe our execution has been poor, but I also think our energy level has been quite low. And maybe it's just because we don't have dynamic players out there. Like, we don't have Martinelli, we don't have Saka. But I've watched this same performance so many times that I just don't think we take these cup competitions that seriously. We try to do as little as possible to try to get it over the line, and as little as possible is not enough. You have to risk it for a biscuit sometimes. The cow says Arteta should pull out Jorginho and Vieira at least. I mean, I just think Vieira, Jorginho, Zinchenko, Trossard, you have 3-4 players there that lack any sort of athleticism whatsoever. And so even though they're all good on the ball players, they're also combination players as well. Like, they're not the types of players that can do anything on their own. Like, I don't know. I think you need to get players moving, creating spaces. They need to feel confident enough to like be able to move out of that space and still feel like they can win the ball back and not feel so scared to lose the ball. Guys look like they're timid out there. Maybe it's just confusion because they haven't really played together before, but look, like I've seen this same performance so many times. Um, DJ Polar says that man watching on one of them illegal streams or something. Ben says, has anyone ever seen Havertz look up at the goal or even attempt to play a through ball? All he ever does is lay it off for a short, safe pass. 3-8 says, we aren't playing bad. We just don't have any dynamic attacking players. Only Martinelli in the squad has that. I don't think we're playing poorly. Like, we rarely play like poorly. In these competitions. So it's not like poor. It's the same performance though. Like it's flat. Players don't have the energy. They look disjointed. They give up like a soft goal. We don't look like scoring. And then in the 70th minute, we put on our starters and then they can't get us going and we go out. Like I've seen this so many times. So I don't think you have to play poorly to be losing a game. Like we're just not putting it. I don't think we're putting in enough to get it over the line just yet. We need to give just a little bit more. It's hard to explain, but I've just seen this a lot. So I'm not that surprised. Here to there says exactly we lack athleticism, and then our two main finishers are Havertz and Eddie. That's a recipe for mediocrity. I didn't even think about that. That we're trying to create chances for two players that don't typically score that many goals. Like I know Eddie scored 3 goals, but when we get in games like this, when we really need a goal, he's missed 2 chances, DJ Polar says the lads are back out. Doesn't look like any changes. And I didn't really think that Ramsdale was like 100% at fault for the goal. He was having his shirt pulled. Ben does his own big part of that to head it in the back of our own net. So, I don't really feel like Ramsdale is like 100% at fault there, like want to stick the boot in. West Ham did nothing in that half. So, it is what it is. Shakar says, I have had it with Havertz. Man's a false football. He started off real well. That's all I'll say. Jorginho, they ran you over in the first 5 seconds of the game. Paquetá, they're going to score. Goal. Shit. See how they're just going to that side every single time? Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you just continue to go down that side? Because there's no one there. I thought it was going in the back of the net, but Ben White saved it on the line or got it out. But yeah, and they're all yelling at each other and shit. Like, again, I've seen this so many times where they just cannot get up for these cup matches. They cannot get up for them. I don't know if it's just like rotated lineup. The other team is just like doing nothing and we just can't do shit. Like, what is that? Zinchenko, Jorginho, what the fuck? So good job, Kivior and Ben White. Let's try to pass it a little bit quicker. Let's have some intention about us. Like, let's not go out sad. Let's create a chance on goal. Let's pretend like we're one of the best teams in the league. Let's pretend like this is nonsense. The way we started the half, like, what are we doing? And I don't want the team, like, I don't know if this is how they're thinking, but I don't want them to think they're too good for a Carabao Cup. Y'all ain't won nothing, so you're not too good for anything. We're not too good to win this Carabao Cup or to treat it seriously. So get that shit out of your head if that's what you're thinking. Jorginho, Zinchenko passing it to each other. Pass it fucking forward, please. With some zip on it. These little BS passes that we're doing. Zinchenko, that's awful. What's that crossfield pass for? He's not even open. Everybody's passing it like short too. Like it's like everything is so soft. Can we hit it with some intention? So Gabriel passes it to Zinchenko. Vieira loses it. What is our buildup? Like, this is why I don't know who said it during halftime that was like our buildup has been better. It hasn't been. Like, we're just passing it into like crowded areas. We can't find the open man. It's really weird. Like, why are you passing it to Vieira there? Ouch. That's a foul by Kudus. See. Let's wake up a little bit. We just look like we can't be asked. You're not too good for a Carabao Cup. You haven't won anything. West Ham are there to be taken. They're not a very good side, but we're just going to give it to them. Like, this is so yuck. Come on, you guys. Made a mess of that. And then we just give it up. What are we doing? What are we doing? We got a free kick and it came to nothing. What are we doing? Come on now. This is a shame. Brian says, has the ref even made a call in our favor or thrown a yellow? I mean, he's calling the fouls that they're making. They haven't gotten yellows yet. Goal. 2-0. Game done. So, I mean, the way we started the second half, we don't deserve shit. Like, what is this? Easy crossfield ball in behind Zinchenko. He takes one touch inside, really nice touch, and boom, in the back of the net. You guys, like, seriously, what am I watching? What are you doing? It's just, what are we going to do, y'all? What are we going to do? We're out. So, we're out. I really wanted us to take this serious because we're not too good for a Carabao Cup, but we're treating this game like we're too good for it. West Ham have definitely wanted it more. They've started off in the second half with way more intention than we have. There's nothing Ramsdale can really do about that. That is so fucking poor from all of us. Dennis says, I really wanted this trophy. We went into another game again, like another cup match, like we didn't care. And this has been one of my biggest concerns about the manager and how we set up the teams and stuff is like we set it up like we don't care about it, and then we're surprised when we play like this. We're surprised. Like, this could be anything. This could be 3-4-0 if they don't get their shit together. Can they not try? Like, they act like they're too good for this. They got bigger fish to fry or what? Like, this is just nonsense. That was such an easy goal that we just conceded. Both goals were pathetic. So we're not too good for a Carabao Cup. We don't win enough to be acting like we are. Is no one going to be there? Oh my God. Yeah. Let's see. Fajar says Tommy should have started over Zinni in the league and the Champions League. A cow says Arteta should have made the changes, but his favorites like Jorginho and Zinchenko. This is a game that Tommy and Rice, not Zinchenko and Jorginho. I just don't think we should ever play Zinchenko plus Jorginho. I just think it never works. We always go out of every cup that we play when we play this. So I'm not surprised that it's not working. You can play Zinchenko, but you can't play Jorginho with him. You can play Jorginho, but you can't play Zinchenko with him. Like, it's so obvious and it happens every time. So I don't know why he continues to do it. He's trying to protect Rice. I get that, but play Tommy. Like, play Tommy. Like, is it that difficult? Not a single player out there has acted as though, except for Reece Nelson in the first half, like they wanted to be there. Like, come on, you guys. They're just running off us now. And I don't think Arteta is going to change anything either because, like I said, if it goes 2-0, we'll just take the 2-0 and go out. You guys. Off the ball, we are so weak. Can we please get it together? Thank you, Mark. Mark says Starbucks pumpkin spice latte time starting to get sick of this being the only pleasure we got each game. I know. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I really do. Thank you. Let's see. I will be getting mine in a little bit. Lucas says, this is where we need one more defender. We need Tommy and Saliba for the league. DJ Polar says Rice putting his boots on, like he shouldn't have to. I don't want, like, at this stage we've thrown the game. Like, he should have started with a different group or like made some substitutions at halftime because it wasn't working. And they came out of sleep like they're too fucking good for a Carabao Cup. I'm tired of this shit. Eddie, run back like you care. What are you saving yourself for? What is he saving himself for? What is Eddie saving himself for? I don't understand. Newcastle? Like, this has been so easy for West Ham. This has probably been their easiest game all season. I don't think there's no point in Rice coming on. I agree with you guys. Like, the game is over. It's 54 minutes in. There's 35 minutes left or something like that. Like, there's no point. We're not coming back from this. This team, this is one of, I don't want to go too far, but I feel like this has been one of our worst cup performances under Mikel Arteta. And we have quite a few. And when I say cups, I mean domestic cups where we've rotated heavily. We don't do anything in these cups. It's so embarrassing. Do we not have the ability to step up even a little bit? I haven't seen the body language, the energy, the intention. Even if like things are off with Jorginho and Zinchenko, why can't we run hard? Do you see what I'm saying? Like, why are we so afraid to even like run? Like, Eddie, your body language is so different today than it was against Sheffield. Why? That don't make no fucking sense to me. I'm so sad for Arsenal right now. I really wanted a domestic cup this season. And the sad thing about this is that, again, like last season, what will happen is we'll get a really difficult draw early in the FA Cup. And we'll wonder why we didn't go hard in this one because we always have bigger fucking fish to fry. Trap says, pressure, destroy, please. Please be careful with Thiago Silva. I don't know who that is. Mark Neighbor says, Man United, no. Newcastle won. Oh, Newcastle can rotate heavily and still score goals? Oh, that's very interesting. To me, it's more about, like, Tommy and Rice are coming on. I mean, is this what we need? Like, you should have done this at halftime or started with them. You cannot ever in your life, Arteta, if you do it one more time, seriously, I'm gonna think you're like insane. Please, for the love of God, will you stop starting Jorginho and Zinchenko together? It never works. They always get slapped, and we cannot control games that way. So please stop. We've done it so many times. It's embarrassing. Every cup that we do it, we get smashed. Like, please. It's literally like, what are you doing? Stop playing them together. Not saying don't play either one of them. Stop playing them together. You're safe. Oh, God. What are you doing? Give us a chance, you guys. Give us a chance. Give us a chance and keep it 2-0. So both Zinchenko and Jorginho off, which they both got hooked because they were both awful. These are senior players in our team. that have totally shit the bed on a day where we needed them to step up. Now, they were set up for failure by Arteta. They shouldn't have been out there together, but they still just didn't have anything about them on the day. So they have to contend with their own performances. But now we have Rice out here and Tomiyasu. Let's see if we can create a fucking chance. No. What buildup? Somebody said we're buildup was good. There is no buildup. We quite literally cannot create a chance. Like, so disappointing. Omar says, just finished the game. We're playing very poorly. Let's see. Boy says this is a trash game. Fajar says, when Arteta can develop logical mind like Mourinho, Arteta, please learn some logic. I think he just wants to rest everybody at once. I don't think you can. I think when the team is set up the way that it is, if you want to rotate, you can't rotate so much. Every time we take like 5 players out, we get this in return. It just never works, especially when you go with the same raggedy, weak midfield shit that you've been doing. Good Reese. Reese has been the only one really trying. Not like where you could see it in his body language that he's giving 110%. I think everybody else from an attacking perspective has looked as though they could be anywhere else on the planet. They wish they were anywhere else on the planet. Player ratings are not going to be fun. Really? Oh, wow. Tommy got beat by Kudus. How's that happen? Good, Ben. Goal. That was so easy. Oh, my goodness. You could just see it was going to be a 3-0. What are we going to do? What are we going to do? Way to ruin the day, y'all. I mean, what is this? Look at how everybody's just like walking. Nobody's at the top of the box. It goes off of somebody, doesn't it? Yeah, but Ramsdale can't get anywhere near it. He puts his hand on it. Wow. It goes off of Kivior, but still. I'm starting to think we don't like playing in the rain either, because it's raining really hard and we're doing the same thing we did against Chelsea. Game's done. Now Rice is out there and Tomiyasu is out there. And what did I tell you guys before? That when we start off weak, I said this before, and I said this yesterday, when we start off weak and then we try to get stronger as we go, it doesn't work. And the reason why it doesn't work is because the players that come on also they're not up to speed. Like they're playing at the same tempo as everybody else. And so you have to, Arteta, you start off strong, you win the game and you take players off. That's the only way that we can do anything. I wish he would just start getting that. You cannot, when you start off weak, you lose. What are we doing? Yeah, but it's such a shame because I'm just like, everything that I was saying before the game has kind of come true. Jorginho and Zinchenko starting off really weak. I said I wanted to start off stronger and then pull players off. Another cup and out in the early stages. Like, and they're just running straight through us and I don't see anybody running back. Y'all, I'm so sick of y'all. I really could just turn it off. Like, what am I watching? Why am I watching it? Keenan says, remember when our fans were upset with Bowen Links? We deserve this. Mark says, I will hope to take this is a one-off, but I must admit the way we've been playing this season, this kind of result and performance has been coming. Yeah, no, I hear that. Gabriel has been awful today, by the way. I don't know if one day off is all it takes, but he looks completely like shell shocked. Is it because like no Saliba or what? But yeah, this is really embarrassing. Monk says, I'm not mad at Kai. It's the makeup of the midfield. I mean, you're not going to create any chances in the midfield with what we started off with. So it's just sad, like how we do the same things every single time. Now Kai's dropping deep. Like him and Vieira passing it to each other. Why? Why? This is not good buildup. Everybody pondering on the ball and standing on it is not good. It's not good, you know? Everything about this has been exactly what we've been talking about for 2-3 years now under Mikel. What? Is somebody hurt? Oh. Oh, he's bleeding. Yeah, but yeah. Keenan says versatility is killing us. We need solid template and well-drilled players in proper roles. Tef Def says early domestic cup exit, the Arteta special. Matt G says Newcastle are tune up against United. Here's the thing is, why is Martinelli coming on? Why is Saliba getting undressed? Why is Saka getting undressed? What the fuck are we doing? Look at their faces. Why would they come on right now? What is Arteta thinking? You should have... y'all, I'm about to crash this stream. Stop starting off weak. Start off stronger, and then you don't have to do this. Why are you bringing them on now? It's 3-0 down. We're not scoring a single goal. We haven't even looked like scoring. Like, when we start off poorly, we just continue to kick ourselves in the face until it's over. Like, why is he doing this? I don't understand. The game is over. You should have started off with the intention to win it from minute 1, not minute, like, now. Like, I get so tired of this in every single domestic cup. I'm tired of watching it again. Look at it. Look at... I'm so hungry. Chosen One says 3 goals in 30 minutes is kind of crazy. I mean, Newcastle alone has rotated so much, and they can still play well against Man United, but we just show up like this. This is mentality and the way the manager sets up the team. I'm sorry. This team does not get up for domestic cups, and we'll never win one until we decide we want to be in it. They did not look like they wanted to win at all from any moment in this game. Trossard is here by himself. He's not going to beat them doing that. Aman says, what a disgrace. DJ Polar says, Bowen getting full eye surgery. This is comical. Lucas says, already Top Gunners making excuses on my timeline. This is unforgivable. No, we need to be much better in domestic cups. And so far we have, like, people will start telling the truth now, because there were people before the game that were like, well, this is not important cup. But every time we go out of it, it hurts, because we don't know what's going to happen in the Champions League. We don't know what's going to happen in the FA Cup. We can get very hard draws coming up. Well done, Reese. You're the only one who showed up today. And so we'll look back on this where we were playing a really poor West Ham side, and we probably could have, like, Man United are going to go out, and it's a good opportunity to win a piece of silverware where we act like we're too good for it, and it's really annoying. Like, it really is. We don't even look like scoring. I feel bad for Declan Rice and Saka and Martinelli that they have to come out here, but they're not going to be able to solve this. The team's playing at too low of an ebb. Oh, and if this is not a clear indication that we need to go out there and maybe get a midfielder more than anything, I don't know what is, because if Declan Rice goes down and we have to play with Jorginho, we're fucked. So we need to go get another midfielder that can sit in next to him, help him rest, another 6/8, something, because this ain't going to work. A cow says we can pull 4 goals back, relax. Brian says weak lineup, always underperform. Exactly. They haven't had to do anything, West Ham. They really haven't. Like, this will be the easiest game that they played all season, because Arsenal came out here and decided, like, it was okay not to play hard in this competition, and Arteta set them up for failure. So how about we just try once to go a little bit stronger in these cups? Just a little bit. I'm not saying that we have to play our best 11, but only rotate 2 or 3 guys out like we did against Sheffield. That worked. 5-6 does not work. Does not work. You got to give us some more than that. We're not good enough. We got to try to get like at least 1 goal back, you guys. This is really bad. But I'll tell you what, every time that we start bad like this, we do not rebound. We do not rebound. So we needed the original team to play well. Look how they're just sticking their legs out, like half really trying. Like, you know when these Arsenal players are really trying. You can feel it. They're not. Eyes on the Newcastle game. Should have been thinking about this game first. What build up? We're just kicking it forward. Adamola says, obviously we need a backup for Declan Rice, not Jorginho. The team always looks shallow without him. With Partey's injury becoming consistent, that position is now looking more than a striker. Yeah. I hear you. Tawanda says they don't care. Did you see a performance from a team? But like the way that Arteta sets up the team originally, do you think that the players out there thought that he cared about the game? Like, I think it all starts from the manager and how he sets up the team. If he sets them up for success, they go out there and they try to play. I just think, nobody really wanted to be out here today. And Arteta basically set it up like, I don't really care about this cup. And guess what? You're getting a I don't really care about this cup performance. I can't believe he put out a stronger team against Sheffield than he did against West Ham away. I cannot believe it. The lineup that played up against Sheffield could have beat this West Ham side. Beat the team first, then rotate down. When will we learn? When will we learn? Our players do not get up for cup competitions when they're high, like the rotated squad. They never do. This is so bad, you guys. A 3-0 thumping against the London rival. Be fucking for real. Like, this is a disgrace. Hold your head in shame. Hold your head in shame. Do we have a shot on goal? No. Don't think so. Don't think so. They just want it more. And they're playing fun now. So in order for us to get up to their level, it's going to take a lot. Bowen winning 50-50s against our players. I mean, we don't really want it. I'm so tired. Aman says, when will we learn for F's sake? When Arteta gets his shit together. Mark says, don't care. It's a harsh word. It only takes 1-2% drop off and you will lose. It's not about not caring, but the players given a chance today once again prove that they're not up for it. Boy says, at least Xhaka had enough self-awareness to say he wasn't built for the mental stress. There's ones that pretend to be Arsenal players. Keaton says, should have started Rice. He would have single-handedly dragged us across the line. Yeah, once you try to ask them to dig us out of a hole, it's over. I've said that so many times. Like, he was so afraid of the Newcastle game that he started with a lineup that just was never going to do anything. Our buildup has been atrocious. There's just nothing. I don't think we've even really have we touched the ball in the box this half at all? Like, and they're just winning everything. And that's what's really scary to me is we don't win any 50-50s right now. Where's that never say die attitude? Don't ever count us out. What happened to that shit? What happened, y'all? I mean, poor day at the office is an understatement, really. We had a poor day at the office against Chelsea, but we still dragged ourselves through it. Eddie has done absolutely nothing today, but I mean, he's had no service, but still, like, not even from like a winning the ball perspective, he's been eaten alive, which is usually the case. Oh my God, Ben, what is this touch? Fuck's sake. That was really scary from Ramsdale. Okay. Oh my word. We're so bad. What are we doing? Shit. And we foul. My God. It just gets worse. Can we just fast forward? I told you, even changing the players was never going to change anything. You went out into the game and put out a lineup that said, you know what? I don't really care about this at all. And I'm getting slacked. And everybody's been really poor. Like everyone. Every freaking person out there. It's a disgrace. But people will say we have bigger fish to fry. So fair enough. Come on, be serious. Be for real. Arteta just has not he doesn't manage these cups properly. But, you know, one out. We're out of one. Now what? Why is Declan so far back? Like, there's just nothing that You're like, "Why are you looking down?" Is because 'cause I'm setting up the player ratings that I still have to do. I could just give everybody a 0, and I probably will. We'll talk about it, and then I'll just probably give everybody a 0. That'd be so real. Not a single player today showed up except for Reese. But what is he gonna do? He can't do it on his own. What are we doing? What are we doing? They better not even think about losing to West Ham at the weekend either. Since we were saving ourselves for that game and we couldn't be asked, we better beat Newcastle at the weekend because this is atrocious. Can't believe I sat around and watched this shit. I mean, I'm happy to be around you guys, but you guys are shocking. Honestly. 3-0 is a disgrace. You guys, I don't think we have a shot on goal at all today. Maybe the header from Kai, but I mean, from an attacking sense, we have been such a nothing team. How is that? How is that happening? Arteta, you got this so wrong. It's all on you. When will we not go out of a domestic cup like this? When? Will there ever be a time? Come on. At least get one back. Or get a shot on goal. That would be. What do we. Fuck you. Oh my God. Did you see what Eddie just did, y'all? Look at the body language of the players that came on as well. They look so angry. Like they should not have to call. The guy with the coat and the hat. I just seen him for the first time. Yeah. But everybody thought it's just okay to go out of this competition, so no big deal. No biggie. See how many people are writing threads about how it's important to just be in the Premier League and how happy they are that we're out of this competition. I hate that mentality so much. Gabriel has been awful. I have to be honest. He's been atrocious. Good, Tommy. He used a little bit of brain power with his touch there. Good job, Tommy. Look at the body language. It's just I have stuff to do later too, and I just want to go to bed now. Watching Arsenal is so hard sometimes. Poor pass. See Get it! Why didn't Eddie get that? He wasn't on it. Ben is just rattled out there, honestly. He's so done. Ben Rama just fell, so play on. Play on. Odegaard's coming on. Why? There's nothing is going to change anything. Once you start off bad, Mikel, you end bad. You have to start starting the way that you mean to finish. Like, stop thinking that you can put out these raggedy ass lineups and we're just going to be able to play. Like, it's so annoying that he does this every time. And honestly, it doesn't really make sense unless you think for sure you're going to win the Premier League or the Champions League. Otherwise, we could take a Carabao Cup. Come on, Rice. Good job. I don't want Declan to have to do all this shit. Why? They're just on us. They're on us and we're just not up for it. I mean, they're snapping a 3-game losing streak, so of course they're at home, they want it more, but I just cannot accept these types of performances anymore from us in these cups. We might as well just null and void ourselves out of it. Win a second ball or first ball. Try it. Try to win one. Impossible. Nah, I'm so upset. I'm so upset. But you're not allowed to be upset because it's just a competition that we shouldn't even care about being in. Because we have bigger fish to fry. Odegaard's coming on. That was an atrocious game from Eddie Nketiah. It's not all his fault, but he didn't help himself. I'll tell you that. He didn't help himself. So switched off from this game. It's so ridiculous. Why am I putting in effort? I feel bad for anybody who went, that's for sure. We cannot pass to each other. Why? Why can't we pass to each other? Why are they wide open? I don't get it. Why can't we pass to each other? They got a corner. So let's see if they score off of this one. I'm so switching off. If we go like 3-0 is already atrocious. 4-0, come on. What the fuck? What are we doing? I'm so over it. Sorry, you guys. I know this isn't fun, but what are we meant to do? DJ Polar says his body language coming off says it all. I guess that was Eddie. Didn't go out. Is anybody going to go over there? Paquetá is the only player that like went to go get that ball. There, you guys. You know, somebody just tried to rainbow flick over us. So bad. But what did we learn today? A lesson that we probably should have learned years ago. That's a great pass from Rice. Rice has come on and done well, but obviously he would because he's an excellent player. It's just not enough. And we can't create chances. They're just, I don't know. Akin says these are the games where Arteta outers and rivals point to and who can blame shit. Yeah. To me, why would you like I don't even blame Arsenal fans for leaving. We're not coming back. We've been shit. And the level of performance has been so low that it's kind of like I feel like I would want my money back. Um they better be ready to play against Newcastle because like the body language for me is just on another level of low. Like, be for real. Gent says we are 100% worse than last year. I don't know if we're worse. We do this every year. So if we had played a better lineup, could we have not won this game? Like, it's hard to tell whether or not we're worse or not. I think the manager set us up really poorly, really poorly. So fuck off, you know? He set us up so bad. He set us up to fail so bad. Like, look at our buildup. So slow. Come on. What are we doing? What is this? They're just winning everything. So I don't know. They're just winning everything and they didn't even have to play hard. That's what pissed me off. But I mean, they deserve it. They scored goals, we didn't, so let's try to score a goal, you guys. Is it impossible? Impossible. Did he get a bad throw? Oh, that scared me. We can't get in the box. I mean, well done, West Ham, but I mean, Arteta needs to really look at this shit. Why are we not in the box? Why can't we touch the ball in the box? Not move it fast with speed. Why isn't anybody on the back post? That's a really good ball from Ben White. Nobody's fucking there. Where's Havertz? Where's Havertz? Um, Lucas says it's not even about the cup, it's about the mentality. This is terrible. Keenan says we trusted the process and this is what we got. Tawanda says the lack of interest is very concerning. We have yet to be like good in a cup competition where we've rotated, where it hasn't been our main focus, but we can't seem to like focus on something else for a second, win it, you know? Good Saka. Saka at least got in the box. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know how to describe it. It's like the Europa League last season, the Carabao Cup last season, this season. Like, it's just the same thing all the time. Like, I've seen this performance so many times, so many times. And it's like no one shows up, and everybody thinks they're too good. And even like our main starters don't even look good when they come in. Have you guys noticed that? They don't look terrible, but they don't look like themselves. I wouldn't even mind a shot, Odegaard. Exactly. Fuck it. Take a shot. Fuck it. Just take a shot. Who cares? Not like anything is gonna change. Just remember, you guys, this is going to redirect you. Like, once I end the stream, it's going to redirect you straight to the player ratings, and it is not going to be fun. So, Good for Moyes and them. They deserve it. They played much better than us, so and they whooped our behind. So what are we meant to do? But everybody's getting a 0. Saksham says Arteta was the one who thought. I don't know. I don't see it. Arteta was the one who thought he's a genius and will revive Havertz. Take that L, clown. Dennis says, I'm going to lose it if I see Jorginho, Havertz, or Zinchenko start against Newcastle. If you think this is a physical team, then wait for Newcastle. I mean, they have just not even tried at all. This is no shots. I don't think we have maybe one shot on goal. We did nothing in this half. The intention from West Ham in the first couple minutes of the second half told you all you needed to see. Like they were like, you know what, this team is not here for shit. So let's just go ahead and just knock them out. And yeah, that's what they've done. So well done, West Ham. We're finished. Okay. Aman says he better win a trophy this season. You should probably focus on the ones that are easier to win. You know, the longer this team doesn't win any trophies, the harder it'll become. So P-Way says West Ham is angry. Arsenal took Rice from them. That's why they're treating Arsenal like that. It's not even just that. It's just they're on a 3-game losing streak that they're snapping right now. So I don't think they want to go into the weekend. Like it was really important for West Ham to win this game because, you don't want to start getting on a really bad losing run. But Arsenal came in like they could not be anywhere else, and they thought that they were too good to be here or something. And I just hate that about us. We're not humble when we should be. And that's why we didn't win. Like Ramdale said, we'd be thinking we're just going to keep winning. Like, you have to try every game. What? Just end the game. Do we even need extra time? They're just dribbling around us. Look at this. They look like the title contenders. We look like West Ham. Like, this is so crazy. Adil says we should have sold Partey instead of Xhaka. Here to There says West Ham fed off the fans. This was important to them, and they played off that. It should be important to us. Like, it should be important to us. Like, I don't care how much West Ham wanted it. Why was it not important to us to win the game? We haven't won a trophy, so why is it not important to us? Carabao says Arteta underestimated West Ham. Potentially. Yeah, maybe. To start off with the team that he started off with was just the same as it always is. Like, can you please stop doing the same shit every single time and expecting a different result and figure out a way to get your players to take domestic cup seriously? But why would they think you're taking it serious? You didn't start Martinelli or Saka or Rice. Come on now. Keenan says Arteta's tactics and game management aren't up to the levels. Is it over? Oh no, we still have 4 more minutes. And I'm telling you, I guarantee that we'll get a very hard draw in the FA Cup early and go out. This was a very winnable tie, and we just did not go into it with anything. Everybody's getting a 0. Dennis says, underestimated. Everybody kept screaming that we would go strong. What makes Arteta special to start underestimating teams? I just wanted on the record that I said I wanted to go strong and that I did not want to see Jorginho and Zinchenko together. And we went weak and we saw both of them together. So I just want that on the record, because every time we do it, we lose. So why would we continue to do something that if you're going to have somebody like Jorginho on the pitch, you have to have somebody physical next to him. So if you wanted to start Jorginho, you had to put somebody else next to him or protect him, like close the left door, close the left-hand door. It's too open. The way Kudus took it down and just put it in the back of the net, like, Arsenal, why have you done this? No, I'm worried about the Newcastle game, and I wasn't really worried about it. Now I'm worried about it. But they'll be up for that. They'll be up for that because we only care about the Premier League. Look at the way our starters even play. Like, I mean, harsh because they came in and they knew it was already over, but still, like, they were never turning this shit around. Good job, Tommy. I don't give a fuck. Aw, put in a better cross, Tommy. Let's see. Dennis says, I won't be shocked if we hear Martinelli or Saka somehow picked up a knock. Rice, good job. Why do we keep cutting in? Stop cutting in. Go wide. Foul. I would have rather us keep going. We're not going to score from here. Carabao says Arsenal gave West Ham hope in the EPL. Keenan says, I am starting to think Arteta is just copying Pep's tactics without having a deep understanding of the game. Let's see. AD says, second loss of the season and everyone's crying. It's not, AD, it's not about it being the second loss. Like, you have to have context. Like, this is a cup competition. This isn't like it's our first loss in the league. It's our going out of cup competitions early. So I'm not really a fan of removing context by mushing all the games together and saying that the Champions League and the Premier League and the Carabao Cup are all mushed together and it's only 2 losses. So what are you crying about? Like, it's the cut. Like, we need to start getting further in these domestic cups. So, of course, Newcastle's winning. They take it serious. Even when they rotate, their team plays well. It's about getting up for these competitions. We weren't up for it. We didn't care. Of course they're winning. Of course they're winning. It's what they feel like they can win. It's not like didn't they get to the final last time? So yeah, they feel like they can win it. This team has not been to a final, you know? So it's just not the same. Monk says it's more of the way we lost, not just losing. Yeah. I hear you. I'm so disappointed. Good job, Odegaard. So pathetic. Good job, Odegaard. They wanted my boy dead. They wanted him out the team. But he came on and he at least scored a goal. Decent little bit of movement. Good job, Vieira, assist. But still not good enough at all. At least we got one back. Game should be done now. Really bad day at the office. We're out of this competition. And so I'm going to end this stream and we're going to go over to player ratings and chit chat about this some more. I'm sure we have more we want to talk about. And yeah, I'll talk to you guys in a minute. This is going to redirect you so you don't have to leave, okay? I am going to start the stream. All right, bye. See you guys in a sec.